Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. It's been a minute since I've done a video with my voice in it, so how you guys been? It's been a minute, but as you can see today, we're going to be doing my college football playoff official predictions. First year with the 12-team format. As you can see, these are all the teams on screen have a chance of making it at this point. It's pretty competitive. It's not all the way determined yet. So I feel like it's a good time to make my predictions. So without further ado, let's get right into it here. As you can see, we have the college football playoff brackets set up. The first four byes are reserved. I'm sure you guys have heard this a bunch, but I'll go ahead and explain it as clear as I can. The first four spots, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are reserved for the four highest ranked conference champions. That is not the Power 4 conferences of the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC. That is the four highest ranked conference champions. If there's some weird world where, I don't know, Northern Illinois was ranked number 2 and Liberty was number 3, they would receive those spots, and then like the SEC would not get a spot, or the Big 10 or whoever. Just whatever four ranked highest conference champions, and then the 12th spot reserved for the 5th highest ranked conference champion. And then the other seeds, 6 through 11 are at large, or excuse me, 5 through 11 are at large bids. So it means Notre Dame, yes, that is correct. Notre Dame can never get a bye because those are only for conference champions. So anyway, I'm going to reveal my first top 4 seeds here. Starting off with number 1, we have the Oregon Ducks, the number 1 seed. They win versus Penn State in a close game in Indianapolis in the Big 10 championship. Win their conference championship. First year in the Big 10. Penn State puts up a fight but falls short in the fourth quarter. And Oregon gets the number 1 seed, going into the playoff 13-0. Looking like the strongest team in the country, but we shall see. Number 2's team, we have the Georgia Bulldogs. I guess a quote-unquote upset over Texas, the higher ranked team, but I think everybody knows that Georgia is probably going to win this game. Georgia played Texas earlier in the year, won in Austin, looked pretty dominant, but Georgia has shown some cracks. If you can pressure Carson Beck, it looks like you can stop Georgia, but I think they're just going to win the SEC championship again. They played pretty good that game when they were playing Alabama, so I think Georgia's going to win this one. Moving on to number 3 seed, we got the SMU Mustangs coming out of the ACC. They defeat Clemson. Pretty close game. Clemson playing for a playoff spot, but SMU gets it done. It's both closer to Clemson. SMU proves why they deserve to be in the playoff, and they look pretty strong too, winning double digits against the Tigers. And in the 4th spot, we have the Boise State Broncos out of the Mountain West. That is right. Big 12 does not get in the top 4. Boise State defeats UNLV pretty easily. Genty goes for almost 200 yards. Everybody thinks it's going to be close. UNLV might win. Boise State proves why they are the best Group of 5 team. Easily gets that number 4 spot. So that's the first 4 teams with a bye. Moving on to the other at-large bids. The first team we have is the Texas Longhorns at the 5 seed. They lose to Georgia pretty close in the SEC championship. Committee gives them the benefit of the doubt, puts them in the number 5 spot. You know how the committee loves their SEC teams too, so you already know they're going to be at number 5. Coming at number 6, we have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Their one loss to the Northern Illinois Huskies, which I believe that game doesn't really matter anymore because it's like week 1 or something, week 2. That was a long time ago. Completely different team. Notre Dame has looked completely dominant in their past couple games. They're not even getting close to beating them, besides, I guess, USC, but they put up 49 on their defense, which is much improved from last year. So Notre Dame just looks absolutely unstoppable right now. We'll see how far they get into the playoff. Number 7 seed, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions. Losing the Big Ten championship, they drop them below Texas and Notre Dame. Oregon wins that game probably by double digits, 14, something like that. Penn State just not able to keep up with Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks. Drop them down to the 7 seed there. 8 seed, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes. That lost to the Michigan Wolverines. Not good. At home especially. And they come in at number 8 spot. Number 9, we have the Tennessee Volunteers. 10-2. Definitely deserve to be in the playoff. They'll be playing at Ohio State. This is our first round matchup. As you can see, all these teams will be hosting up to Tennessee. So Tennessee will be playing at Ohio State. It's going to be an interesting game there. It's either Friday the 20th or Saturday the 21st. It doesn't show. This bracket doesn't show like what time slots those games are. That's yet to be determined, I'm sure. So anyway, number 10 seed who will be playing at Penn State, that will be the Indiana Hoosiers. This is the conference on conference matchup here, the only one, I believe, in the first round. Got two pretty good Big Ten teams going at it. Can the Indiana Hoosiers win in Happy Valley? It's going to be tough for them. They look dominant in almost every game except for that Ohio State game, which if you watch that game, it looks like it's a bad game, but Indiana gave up 2 special teams touchdowns basically, and also Ohio State scored a touchdown with 30 seconds left to run up the score. So that game was really like 24-15 if you take away that stuff. So it really wasn't that bad, but Indiana still lost. So, and they're only the hardest team they played, so not a good look for them. Playing at Notre Dame will be the Alabama Crimson Tide. Very big programs there playing against each other. Playing in South Bend. It's going to be a good one there. And lastly, rounding out the top 12, we have the Big 12 champion, Arizona State Sun Devils. Probably coming in around 14 in the playoff rankings, something like that, 13. But because of the automatic bid, they get the 12 seed. That's going to leave out Miami. It's going to leave out Ole Miss and South Carolina. That's the first 3 teams out of the playoff, I believe. So these are pretty much your playoff teams. You could see something crazy like Clemson winning. You could see something like UNLV beating Boise State. You could see Iowa State beating Arizona State. These conference championship games are very important because they will determine seeding and determine which teams can get in still. If SMU loses, they might still be in the playoff. I don't know if it just come down to them or Miami, to be honest. I think that'd be interesting to see. So, looking at our first playoff round matchup, we have Arizona State at Texas. Cam Scadaboo going to be looking for a big game here. Will it be enough to defeat the Longhorns? I do not think so. I think playing at Austin, it gives Texas the deciding factor. Texas is going to have to be able to shut down Cam Scadaboo. And if they can do that, then they should be able to win this game. Our next matchup, we got Tennessee at Ohio State. This is going to be a heck of a game right here. Tennessee's high-powered offense versus that Ohio State Buckeye defense. Playing in Columbus. It's going to be cold probably. Can Tennessee overcome that and get going? I think they do. I think Tennessee takes down Ohio State in Columbus. They're hungover from that Michigan loss. Maybe some inside cracks with Ryan Day. Maybe they're trying to get rid of him. And they could potentially throw this game. That sounds ridiculous, but I mean, you never know. Ohio State, they are completely just mad at Michigan right now, so they'll do anything to beat them. And I think that Tennessee can come into Columbus and win. I could be wrong. I'm just going out on a limb here. I'm not just going to predict chalk. That's boring. So there's an upset right there. Alabama at Notre Dame. I assume a lot of people will probably pick Alabama in this one, but I'm taking the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Key to stop Alabama is if you shut down Jalen Milroe, you win the game. Literally. Vanderbilt, you know how they beat Alabama. Jalen Milroe had like 20 rushing yards that game. You know how Oklahoma beat them? They shut down Jalen Milroe. You know how Tennessee beat them? They shut down Jalen Milroe. It's that simple. You shut down Jalen Milroe, you don't let him run the ball, you win. I think Notre Dame does that. And I think it's going to be close, but I think Notre Dame gets the win at home. And last but not least, Indiana at Penn State. Can Penn State, they've had a tough go in their two biggest games of the year, at Ohio State, at Penn State. I think playing at Penn State says enough. I think the Nittany Lions take them down. Can Curtis Rourke somehow? I mean, the cold doesn't affect him. Obviously, he threw 6 touchdowns against Purdue in the snow. But will Penn State's environment be too much for Indiana? I think it will be. So we have our final 8 teams here in the quarterfinals. First matchup we'll look at is Texas and Boise State. It's going to be a New Year's Six bowl. I'm not sure which one it is. If you go by the placement, like if you say the Fiesta Bowl is the first one, then this is the Fiesta Bowl. I'm not sure it's like that, but it's going to be a heck of a game. Can Ashton Genty find holes against the Texas defense? That's going to be tough. It's the hardest defense they've played all year. Texas is like top 3 or 4, I think, in run defense. And I think Texas wins this one. Just too much strength on the offensive and defensive line. I think they're just gonna be able to out physical Boise State, out athlete them. I think Texas gets the job done. Looking at Tennessee versus Oregon. Oregon, a tough test here against Nico Yamaliava and the Volunteers. Can Oregon look strong and take them down? Whichever bowl, the bowl placement of this bowl game is huge. This is the Fiesta Bowl or the Rose Bowl, and that favors Oregon, obviously. And if the peach or sugar, that'll help Tennessee out. I think that Dylan Gabriel is just going to be too much for Tennessee's defense. Tennessee's defense is pretty good, but I don't know. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop Oregon. It's going to be tough for them. Looking at Notre Dame versus SMU, this is a very interesting matchup. Can Kevin Jennings and the Mustangs keep up Notre Dame? SMU has not really been tested that much this year. I mean, their one loss is to BYU. That's a very close game. That's very like week 1 or something, 18-15. And other than that, SMU has looked really good. They've had some couple scares against Duke, I believe, and then somebody else. But they beat Louisville. Louisville had a very hard schedule, probably the hardest in the ACC. And they completely dominated Louisville. And anyway, I think Kevin Jennings and the Mustangs win this one. As crazy as that is to say, because Notre Dame has looked so good. I think Notre Dame just kind of just chokes like they always do at the end of the season. I think SMU gets it done. It's going to be a close one, though. And then Penn State versus Georgia. This is just a two brutes going at it right here. Can the Georgia Bulldogs get going? Can Penn State get pressure on Carson Beck? I think Georgia's O-line plays good enough to get them the win over Penn State. But it's going to be a close one there for sure. If that's the Peach Bowl, look out, though. That's all I'll say. So here's our semifinals right here. Last 4 teams. Got the 5 seed Texas, 1 seed Oregon, 3 seed SMU, and 2 seed Georgia. So nothing too crazy. We got 1, 2, 3, and 5. We don't. This is the first playoff, so we don't know if it's like gonna be like March Madness where you have 12 seeds going to the Sweet 16 and stuff like that. We don't know if it'll. I think it's gonna be more chalk because that's kind of how football is. But I don't know. We'll see. This year's been crazy for upsets. You could have Alabama go to the national championship. You never know. Anyway, looking at Texas and Oregon, this is going to be a heck of a game. Like this game could be the game of the year right here. Honestly, can Oregon beat Texas? I mean, that's just is what it is. Can Oregon beat Texas? I don't think they can. I think Texas gets it done. I think they do. And I think Texas is motivated by their loss to Georgia in the SEC championship. People are going to be telling them, you guys couldn't have won you guys are not going to win the SEC in your first year. You're not going to win the playoff. Everybody's telling them that. I think they have a chip on their shoulder coming into the playoff. They take down Arizona State. They take down Boise State. Two quote-unquote easier teams, you could say. All these teams are very outstanding teams. But you could say those are quote-unquote easier teams. Texas gets a little bit of confidence, and then they defeat Oregon, who's only played Tennessee. Tennessee's a good team, but I think Texas gets the job done. And then SMU and Georgia, this one is a good game as well. You'd think Georgia would dominate SMU, but as don't forget, SMU is a very good team. SMU is very good. I think SMU is playing their best football right now. They played all year. Georgia, not so much. They have a 30-game winning streak at home, and they almost lost it to Georgia Tech in 8 overtimes. That was their last game of the year. They've had scares against Kentucky. They lost to Alabama. They lost to Ole Miss. Those are not even playoff teams. Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. I think it should be Miami at the 11, but they're going to play Alabama, which I think is kind of stupid, but it is what it is. I think SMU wins. I really do. I think SMU gets pressure. They get through Georgia's offensive line. Carson Beck throws a couple picks, and SMU goes to the national championship. Kind of playing on Georgia's mistakes, taking what they give them, playing smarter, playing faster, playing physically, and I think SMU wins. And so then it comes down to a national championship in Atlanta versus Texas versus SMU in the national championship. You got an in-state matchup here, in-state rivalry, SEC versus ACC. Dallas versus Austin, literally. It's going to be a great game. If SMU makes it to the championship, they're going to be playing some outstanding football. Kind of similar season to TCU and Sonny Dykes, their first year. That's Sonny Dykes, right? Yeah, I think. Surely, yeah. I'm losing right now, but kind of similar season to Sonny Dykes and TCU, yeah, their first year. And has TCU lost the national championship, so will SMU. Texas wins the national championship, come into the playoff with a chip on their shoulder, and they get it done. Final score to this game is probably 31 to 21, something like that. Texas wins pretty close. And this is the first 12-team playoff year with a 12-team playoff. The playoff doesn't disappoint. The only game I could see on here that could be a blowout is Texas, Arizona State, and Texas, Boise State. Oh, Boise State played really good against Oregon, but that was back when Oregon wasn't playing as good earlier in the year. Penn State, Indiana could be a blowout potentially just because it's at Penn State. But other than that, all these games should be pretty close. It's going to be good, guys. And I just want to say thank you, guys. We are for 9K. I know it was a while ago, but I think I made a post about that. I'm not sure. But we're getting close to 10K, which is actually insane. Like 10,000 people subscribe to my channel. Like that's the size of a city, literally. Like a small town. But yeah. Thank you guys for all the support. And that's pretty much it for this video. So, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment down below your guys' playoff predictions. I want to hear them. I'm going to read every single one. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.